meeting to order for September 25, 2019. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let 3.0 let the record reflect that all board members are present. Student representation 4.0. There is no student representation today.
No school today.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that. Didn't know that. 5.0 agenda additions and deletions.
Nothing for me.
Alrighty. 6.0 visitor input.
Nobody signed up.
7.0 approve the agenda.
I will make the motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
We have a motion by Lotiger seconded by Sather to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 8.0 approve the treasurer's report for the second check writing of March.
Thank you. Second check writing in March, pretty easy treasurer's report, I think, this afternoon or this evening. There's total disbursements of $228,137.34 is itemized in your packet, and that would be the report.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented by the treasurer?
Approve the treasurer's report.
I mean the treasury report.
Also move.
Support.
So motion by Gentley, support by Sather. Any other discussion?
I just have one question. For the Super One bill, are we at $661.07? Is that per food and water? And
I'm going to guess that that's the home ec class, but I'd have to look for sure.
Okay, 'cause I was just wondering.
A couple things that happen at Super One, our early childhood program.
Yeah.
Spend some money at Super One for snacks and stuff and food, and the foods program does too.
Okay, I was just wondering if we couldn't kind of look at another source of supply or
Sure, I see what you're saying.
Okay. That's it for me.
Okay, any more discussion on the treasurer's report? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9.0 consent agenda. Approve the meeting minutes for March 11, 2019, March 11, Monday, the study session, March 11, 2019, the regular session, Monday, March 11, 2019. B, approve the resignation of the ISS detention supervisor. Yep. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move.
No support.
Moved by Sather, second by Lotiger. Any discussion?
Do we have a reason for the resignation of the detention advice supervisor? Moving on. How?
Moving on to another position, a job, or?
Are we going to post and advertise for another?
We have both.
Is that internal or internal external?
Right now it's internal, but after tonight we'll go ahead.
How much of a position is that? Is it a
30 hours a week.
30 hours a week? Okay, I knew it wasn't. But
We just recently approved that like last fall, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It was about this time last year.
Okay.
But the intentions are we're going to get somebody to finish out the year.
He's still there, so he just would hope that would find something else. He didn't decide that.
Okay.
All right. Any more discussion on the resignation or on the consent agenda? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda? No. All in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 10.0 items removed from the consent agenda, there were none. 11.0 personnel. 11.1 approved plumber B, general maintenance appointment of Jeremy Bonicato.
Mr. Chair, we have been without said position for almost 2 years. We had Mr. Bonicato here subbing for various positions for the last 3 months. Been a very good employee, so we're going to offer him the job. He doesn't currently have the requirements as stated in the job requirement, but like I said, this is going to be pending he passes the skills test and gets the proper licensure. So if he doesn't complete that, then he's for that.
Is there a time frame for him to obtain the proper licensure?
30 days.
And what would the licensure be consist of?
Well, at first he has to pass the skills test, and then he'll have to do the bus license for one, driver's license. And the other is the, what's the first stage of boiler license? Special engineers.
Yes.
So this was posted and advertised internally, or how was it handled?
Internally, externally, we've been all over the place.
And we had how many applicants?
One.
And that just him?
Yep.
Any more discussion?
Does he have any, the experience for the boiler? I mean, does he have the? I know Jeremy. I went to school with him and stuff. Does he have the ability to pass the test? Do you think?
Yeah, he's been working with our guy for what 3 months on and off, just helping out. And so he's familiar with it. I think he'll do okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, 11.
This is a grow your own one. We couldn't find anybody that had it. So.
So can I get a motion to approve 11.1, approve the following position B, maintenance appointment of Jeremy Bonicato?
I'll move.
Motion by Sather.
Second.
Support by you,
Matt?
Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 11.2, approve paraprofessional A assignment of Missy Slavich.
Missy's been here for a lesser position. She's been here for a 2-hour-a-day position. The student requires more hours now, so it's just an increase of hours, but it would be 2.5 hours a day increase. She's already doing 2 hours.
She the one that's with this particular student at the time, right now?
Yes.
Oh, it wouldn't be a different student?
No.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the paraprofessional A assignment with Missy Slavich for the 5.5 hours per day.
I'll support.
So support, or motion by Sather, support by Lotiger. Any discussion?
85% during probation. How long is that probation?
6 months.
So we haven't had 6 months yet. She's not off probation yet.
Well, being 2 hours, she's technically not in the union.
Okay, so does that probation apply then? Isn't that a union? Is that a union stipulation, probation?
Yes.
Okay. So she's not in the union.
Yeah, at 2 hours a day right now, she's not in the union, but she will be in it with the 5.5 a day.
So
She'll have to go through.
her extra 2 hours a day, is that going to start for 6 months, or are we going to combine her hours now and the other 2 hours a day, and that's going to be retroactive for her 85%, or is that? 2
No,
hours
she
a day
starts her 6-month probation tomorrow.
for this extra 2 hours? Is that how it usually works?
Yeah. Why do you think it works a different way?
I just didn't know. I just wondered
Okay.
if she's going to have part of it, she's going to be off of probation, and part of it she's going to start probation.
No,
Oh.
she's just on probation for the whole thing, because she hasn't been in the union. So I mean, she's new to the union.
This is a union
Right.
position because
This
her
will be,
hours are
yeah.
enough.
Oh, this
Right.
2 hours will be the union position.
No, the
She-
full
The
5.5
total,
will be.
the
Right.
full 5.5 hours
They're
will
not
be a
two
union.
separate positions.
No.
The individual that she's.
I'm just saying
We're
that
giving
she-
her 2 more hours.
Three,
Okay. It's
three
gonna
more
roll-
hours. It's going from 2.5 to 5.5.
Yeah, it's going to roll into her probation that she's already on.
Which will be able to post
She didn't have,
hours.
she wasn't on, she
She wasn't on
She's not
probation before
full-time.
because she wasn't a union.
She wasn't in the union.
Okay.
Now that she's in the
Remember.
union,
Okay,
she'll
now
start
she's gonna,
probation.
okay,
Yep.
gotcha. Sorry, thanks.
Yep.
Any more discussion on 11.2? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 12.0, new business. 12.1, discussion of recording study sessions and committee meetings. Okay, Paul, you want to talk about that? We was brought up to about recording study sessions and committee meetings and such.
Well, I think you know how I feel. How does the rest of the board feel about also recording study sessions and committee meetings? There are different ways to do it. Go ahead.
I have mixed feelings about it. I definitely don't think that we need to record committee meetings. I don't think that we need to do that. I do think that obviously our regular meetings and any special meeting, I think we should record. The study sessions, I am on the fence about because I do want to get information out. I think it's important, and I've learned that there are a lot of people that watch these online. So I do think that getting information out is a good thing, but we've been having a number of work sessions, so that would require that, the people that record for us will be available to record for all those other study sessions.
Are you thinking about the cost too?
Yeah, the cost and their time as well. I mean, other districts, I know our neighboring district just has 2 meetings a month, a work session, and then, regular meeting. And they do record theirs, but they're only having 2 meetings a month. I mean, we've kind of had, it ends up working out that we've had 4 meetings a month, a lot of times. So it would be an additional expense, and if Justine is attending the committee meetings, or not the committee meetings, but the study sessions, and taking notes, or we have somebody taking notes, I don't know which one is better. I definitely don't think we should be, or need to be recording committee meetings, because there's, other people involved in those too sometimes.
When I went to the MSBA training for the clerk specific training, so people were very shocked actually that we record the meetings this regularly, and
Your regular meetings?
Are
Yeah.
you kidding? That's very common.
like they
all
were
over the
very,
state.
yeah,
That's
no,
common all over.
it wasn't in the room, so they were kind of shocked about that.
Actually, if you don't mind, attest to that too. They were, when I went to that clerk training, they were also very surprised that we recorded all of them.
Yeah, because I thought it was very common. I mean, I thought it was just regular practice, but they did speak up to that.
This is my first district in my 28 years that has recorded school board meetings.
Yeah, so I don't think it might be more common up here or something, I don't know, but we were it was a pretty good room and representation of people across the state, and yeah. So that was something new. So I mean, I just think like we're already doing this for the board meetings, which I think is great, and I do realize that a lot of people watch the board meetings actually while they're working from home or doing stuff. They'll watch it when they're not able to come.
When it's convenient.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily know if those same people are going to take the time to also watch the study sessions and watch the committees and.
I think we probably got a lot more people watching now than ever, I would hope.
That's true.
I will concur with Brandy that the discussion, that the recording of the study sessions, I'm kind of on the fence about that, but I like to see them recorded. It's not so much the committee meetings, but I would just, it would be all contingent, which side of the fence I'm on, all contingent on just what the cost would be to have that done.
I think it's about $125 a meeting, isn't it? Where's the guy that's charging?
Yeah.
125 a meeting? Am I close? Yeah.
So that would include the study session also, correct?
No.
No.
Well, study sessions are special meetings, right?
Yes.
Study sessions are special meetings.
I mean, if
Well,
we're going to, I guess,
Do a simpler taping instead of multiple cameras, just one camera, if you want to do it that way,
Yeah.
just say $50.
Yeah, and
So it'd be
here's,
75 a meeting then?
here's the thing, I wouldn't have to, go ahead.
Would it be 75 if you had just one camera?
It's 50.
So, how much is it?
He said 50.
50 for one meeting. On a study session, would it be $50 for one meeting? One study session?
You'd save $50.
Save it. So what would the total cost per, what would be the total cost to record our study session?
$75,
Okay,
because I have to tape it, I
okay.
have to put it on TV, I have to render it. There's a lot that goes on after a
Okay.
render.
All right,
It's just not the time that I do here.
Right.
okay,
I have to incorporate
right.
the video and then render, then send it over to Eva, program it.
Okay.
It's quite involved.
So that, and so if we were to record those meetings, I mean, that'd be something for the board to talk about if we were going to, like, if we decided to record the study sessions, that would we want to make it convenient for, say we have our study session before our regular meeting. If we do them, we have them before a regular meeting.
He'd be here anyhow that
You'd be
day.
here, to make it, I mean, I guess looking for a little convenience.
Assuming that it was on that day.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I think it's hard sometimes for us to come together for certain meetings. It has worked fairly well, I think, for most of us, for right before our regular meetings. But there's been other times where we've had to have other meetings outside of that time. And I think we've struggled sometimes with being able to get all of us, let alone another individual to try to come. So it's just, it might be another dynamic with scheduling. So it's just, I mean.
Well,
I mean, my feeling is, and I'm all for getting the information out to the public. I mean, I know people watch these things. I mean, I watch the meetings, but personally, I feel recording the regular meetings is adequate, and that's providing plenty of information to folks.
Well, and we
That's
can't,
my feeling.
and we can't vote during a study
Correct.
session.
Right.
So
Right.
people are more interested in what we're voting
Right. Can't
on
take-
than, I mean, they want information,
Well,
but
it
I would
was,
say they're more interested in knowing what we're voting for.
There's a prior, I think, Leon would correct me if I'm wrong on this, he's the prior board member, but at that time, the board decided that all meetings would be recorded.
Just special meetings were on that one.
Well, special meetings, all meetings, is that correct, Leon? You recall that?
Do you recall why it stopped?
It didn't stop. They had
Oh,
agreed to, like, if they had a special meeting that they were voting on something.
Oh, for a
And this is considered,
Yeah.
I mean, Polly's right, a study session is
Yeah,
considered a
that's
special
true.
meeting. But the intent was that if they had a special meeting, that they were voting on something.
that they were taking action on that. Anything taken action would be recorded.
So there's something in the past boards that states that all meetings would be recorded, all special meetings
Special meetings.
and regular meetings.
Yeah.
but I see no
And we have done
problem.
it. I mean, when we have a special meeting, we record it.
Okay.
I see no problem in recording a study session. I mean, it also gives the public, a little more of an idea of what's transpiring, and then later on, when it does come to a vote.
Yeah, go ahead, Leon.
From what I can remember, I'm Leon Shanoff, I was on the school board from what Tom's talking about. And from what I remember, Tom, what we were discussing on that was that not so much Hugo being here, but Justine taking the minutes of the meeting. That's what it boils down to.
So it was recording the minutes?
It's still recording the meeting, but we weren't recording it on tape. It was
Recording
on
Recording
paper,
it, so-
by taking notes,
by
is what
taking
you're saying.
notes on paper.
well, you have to have meeting minutes anyway. if
Right.
they're- So
Right.
that's not a decision
So-
to be
No.
made.
Well,
But
that
that's
would
what
be a
we, that's
decision.
what we discussed, and I think that's what you're getting at, Tom.
It
have
would
to
be a
be taken.
decision,
Okay,
but
that time.
it is a decision though to have Justine do it versus having
Well,
the
just-
clerk do it.
Just the minutes.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
clerks do the minutes and they don't have Justine sitting there
Right.
doing the minutes.
Yeah,
So that,
or superintendents.
Okay, so Leon, as a former board member, your recollection is that the meetings were recorded, but you can't clarify whether it was by writing or was it by video? I
I'm
mean,
not
it was just writing?
100% on the memory of that.
It's
But
by- it was just
from
by-
what I remember, what I think I remember is that it was all going to be on paper
Okay,
and not
I'll
video.
locate it on paper. Okay.
Which, again, that was to record, so we'll go out live to give the public the information of the meetings. That's to keep the public more and more of what was going on by having
Right.
it
Well,
recorded.
even so, if the public knows that there's going to be a study session on such and such day, they can always come to the superintendent's office and get a copy of what was discussed.
So this, since this is just part of a discussion anyway, I mean, we're not going to be taking any action on it.
We could. The agenda item, we could take action.
Okay,
Take action.
so I guess I would be interested in how many study sessions we had in 2018 and the potential cost then. So if we anticipated we would have a similar number of study sessions for each year, I mean, I'm interested in the cost.
Well, the question to me is, what value do you put on communication and information to the public? What value do you put on that?
Well,
We
but
spend money in
I
other
don't-
areas.
I don't think
Yeah,
that
wasn't done
there's
talking yet.
a different value though for if you have meeting minutes too. I mean, I don't think,
Well, no, go ahead.
like, I feel like it's still sharing information. I get, I mean, a video is different than minutes, but I don't feel like we're doing top secret meetings either.
No, I wasn't implying that. But there's a lot of detail in discussion. And when you have a study session, it's because you want to talk about something probably more in depth. Committee meetings, you have a committee meeting, so you don't, it's more involved, so you don't have it at the board meeting to drag them out all, whatever. And to me, it's very important, communication, well, that's been one of our top priorities in every list that we've made, more communication. What dollar value do you put on that? I really feel strongly about that.
I don't think it's right to say what dollar value you put on it. I mean, we all value that, but I mean,
It's my opinion that with what's going on now with our district and stuff that's coming up, that, it's my opinion, that I think we should record the study sessions, but not so much the committee meetings. That's my opinion. I don't know what you guys,
Well, we didn't really hear from
I think where
John.
Matt is going, and I mean, I'm not one of you, so you can take it for what it's worth, but I found, my personal thing, when they're not being recorded, I found much better conversations among people, because you don't feel under a microscope necessarily, and maybe that's me dreaming, but I've always noticed that. I mean, when it's not being recorded, that the board does have way better discussions. I mean, it gets way more in depth. There's good questions being asked.
Well, now, let me remind you that a few years ago, even John Plasmo, as your school attorney, made a comment to say, it doesn't matter if people are uncomfortable speaking or whatever you said. He said, it's a public meeting, and when I was taping, and other people had taped in the past, you know, the public has a right to video or audio record as long as it doesn't disrupt the proceedings. And
There's no question.
okay, but so
I'm just saying that
is that a
as
reason
a whole,
not
the
to?
board tends to feel more comfortable when they're not.
Barnes, I agree, and thank you for saying that, but it's not just us, I don't think, and I've seen this in a lot of different places, but it's also the people who are presenting at those sessions.
What's your thoughts, John?
The committees, that'd be too much to record all of that. My question would be how many people would actually watch? I know there are a good population that watch the meetings itself, but how many people would actually watch the study sessions, I guess? How many people would we be catering to by doing that?
yeah,
Study
that's
sessions are special meetings, so.
a hard one to
And
gauge.
we'll never know,
Yeah.
you might never know that, and so,
Yeah.
no. And here's another thing, you know, as far as the cost, I've watched many meetings around the state and around the country on the internet. And I've seen it where there's a static camera up in the corner. Hugo wouldn't even have to be here. Somebody pushes the button on, turns it off, and then hands it over. He's right, because I've edited all the ones that I've taped myself. So you edit, and then you upload it and everything, so the cost isn't that much if you just have Hugo wouldn't even have to be here on those off days, so the cost would be very minimal, whatever he wanted to charge to edit and/or upload it. To me, it wouldn't cost much at all.
Well, we'll have some more discussion on that, I guess, to look at, I mean, I guess I'm on the fence on it, you know.
Yeah, I am too.
On the committee meetings, I'm not for recording that. The study sessions, you know, I mean, I'm for it, but then again,
I just
No.
keep thinking about, you know, the amount of meetings that we've been having, and I guess I'm kind of opposite you, Bill. You know, you're saying that with all the meetings that we've had with the collaboration and things, about having the work studies, or the study sessions, recorded for the purpose of getting that information out that we discuss, but I don't know. I think it might be sufficient for those study sessions if Justine takes notes. And do you put those online, the minutes from all the study sessions as well?
Yeah.
So if they're online already and people are having to go online to get to the regular board meetings, I think that would be sufficient. People get an overview of what's been discussed.
So for instance, we'll be having upcoming budget and finance meetings. I think those are very informational for not just for us, but for the public. That's a committee meeting, you know, and I just think that information and communication is very valuable.
well, I guess.
What if it's something, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, I mean, if it's important and, you know, and it's posted that we're having a meeting, I mean, everybody is welcome to attend
Yeah, but
the meetings.
I don't know who
but-
said before, but on demand, and when you have a chance, you might be up late at night and then have a chance, but you can't come here at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening. It's at your own leisure. Yeah. So that's all I have to
and
say.
the other thing we could do is we could have it at yours and Jeff's discretion. And if there's a finance committee meeting, budget meeting coming up that you feel that would be important, maybe on a case-by-case basis, with a discussion between the two of you on what, you know.
I mean, like, I think of like today's, I could deal with that. Like, I think of today's meeting, and I mean, it was 20 minutes or 30
But that's
minutes.
good stuff.
I mean, well, I don't know if everyone would agree that that's good stuff. I mean, you know, so I mean, I honestly, I'm not strongly opposed to not doing it either. I get it, and I see benefit. I just don't, I don't know financially if I feel that that's enough benefit financially to spend the money for it. And that's my honest.
I agree with Director Ivey that the study sessions should be recorded. It keeps the public more informed on how this board is functioning. And that was one of the reasons why it was brought up at that time that we do record all these meetings, is that the public felt that we were withholding information. Not so much the open meeting line or anything, but we're just restricting information. And I agree with Director Ivey that it's not going to be that much more expensive to do it all in one package, and in any event that you do have a special committee meeting where you think the public should be informed, then I would say do that one on a basis of need.
So what we'll do with this, I think, I think me and Jeff will talk about this. We'll look it over. We'll get into like the finances. We'll look to see how much, not finances, but how much more it would possibly cost, and then we'll bring that back to the board, and then we'll vote on it.
Because I would have been prepared to make a motion, because I do somewhat agree with what Polly's saying. I mean, to get information out, you know, about the cost of it or whatever, I do kind of get that, but I would make a motion to continue to record the regular meetings and have any additional meetings at the discretion of the superintendent and the board chair for meetings where somebody comes in and speaks to us about budget or finance or any other.
Or we'll just feel that this
Yeah.
one needs to be recorded,
Yeah.
basically.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're comfortable with that?
Yes, I am.
I will make the motion that we continue to record regular meetings and that at the discretion of the superintendent and the board chair, we will record meetings as you deem appropriate based on the information that's being given in those study
Does
sessions.
that include study sessions?
Not committee meetings.
Does that include study sessions?
What I'm saying
Yeah.
is
I'm just asking.
regular meetings, we'll continue to record regular meetings like
Okay.
we've done the second and fourth Monday. And then it's at the discretion of yourself, Bill, and Mr. Carey for when you feel we need to record study sessions based on the information that we're receiving, if there's a speaker or if it's a budget and finance
So,
meeting that
just
you
ask
deem
one
is
question.
important.
So, are you saying that we should, like, hire somebody to do that, or you want me to set up a iPad in the corner, or, I mean, we can do it a number of ways. I mean, we record all of our sporting events with an iPad.
Somebody has to edit though and upload or whatever, turn it over to Denise, but somebody would have to edit. Anyway, so. Don't
I
take a
would
rough
say
route.
I would say to hire.
All right.
I will second that.
So the study sessions would be discretionary then?
Yes,
Am I
they would.
understanding?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So the study session will be recorded.
Not will be.
At
the
It's at the
discretion.
discretion of Jeff
At the
and Bill.
discretion of the chair and the superintendent.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
So I'm just noticing we don't have all of our study sessions on here because there are times that Justine might not be here.
I actually just started attending them.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I'm just kind of double checking so that, yeah.
The previous ones were not.
Right.
So, 12.1, the motion on the table by Director Lotiger is to
Continue recording
continue recording the meetings, regular meetings,
on the second and fourth Mondays.
on the second and fourth Mondays, and the study sessions are at the discretionary between the superintendent and the board chair.
As to what you deem is important.
What we deem is important.
So, okay, so that's going to be a judgment call of what would be important information or not important information.
But that doesn't mean that,
Just clarifying, that's all.
Yeah,
It's
but-
discretionary.
but
What
Polly,
should-
that
that's
doesn't
fine.
mean that you can't contact Bill and say, hey,
That's fine.
what do you think about this? And
Right.
he can discuss it with the superintendent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All those in favor?
Okay. Any more discussion? We all done? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
No,
Okay, the vote is 5-2 vote. Okay. 12.2, approve resolution 678, expulsion of student. Go ahead, Kelly.
Do I want to read the resolution and the motion?
I guess if you're looking for a recommendation, I would just, do you have a copy of it?
I have it in front of me. In a long.
Can you just state what we have here? The administration will recommend.
Yeah, I would just say this is a resolution for the expulsion of student EGX 21819. Administration is recommending that the board approve this resolution for a period of 12 months and take a roll call. People hopefully had a chance to read why.
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, pretty much just reading what's on the
Okay.
agenda.
All righty.
For resolution number 678, expulsion of student, the administration recommends the board approve resolution number 678 for the expulsion of student E-G-X2-18-19 for a period of 1 year. The parents agree to waive an expulsion hearing and will be eligible to petition the board for reinstatement after 45 days. I will do a roll call vote.
You actually need a motion
Oh,
first to approve
yes.
that.
Try and get a motion to approve Resolution 678, expulsion of student, E-G-X2-18-19.
I will make the motion.
I will second. Motion by Lotiger, second by Addy. Any more discussion? Okay, roll call.
Director, or what, I have to make sure I'm reading my motion right. Director Sather is a yes. Director Addy.
Yes.
Director Sorkin.
No.
Director Gentilini.
Yes.
Director Yuhan.
Yes.
Director Schoberg.
Yes.
Director Lotiger.
Yes.
That is 6 yeses and 1 no.
Motion carries. 12.3, approve resolution of 679, reinstatement of student.
Mr. Chair, we, earlier this school year, last fall, the board adopted a resolution to expel student EG 2-18.19 for a period of 1 year. The parents did sign the hearing waiver, which made him eligible to apply for reinstatement for 45 days. The student has met the conditions of reinstatement at this time, and the administration would recommend that the board allows the student to re-enter school under the conditions set forth.
Okay. So 12.3, approve resolution 679, reinstatement of student. Can I get a motion to approve?
Yeah, resolution.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Resolution number 679 to conditionally reinstate and readmit student E-G2-18-19, whereas pursuant to a waiver of right to hearing and consent to expulsion for 12 months, signed by student E-G2-18-19, and said student's parents, the School Board of Independent School District number 2154, Evelyn Gilbert Schools, formally expelled student E-G2-18-19 for a 12-month period commencing on or about December 11, 2018. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District number 2154, Evelyn Gilbert Schools, that student E-G2-18-19 be conditionally reinstated and readmitted to school, subject to the terms and conditions set forth in the conditional readmission agreement entered into with the parents of student E-G2-18-19.
Okay. So, can I get a motion to approve the reinstatement, or to approve the resolution 679 reinstating the student?
I'll move.
I'll second. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Director Sorkin.
I abstain.
Director Gentilini.
Yes.
Director Yuhan.
Yes.
Director Schoberg.
Yes.
Director Lotiger.
Yes.
Director Sather is a yes. Director Addy.
Yes.
6 yeses and 1 abstain.
Motion carries. 12.4, approve expenditure for information campaign.
Mr. Chair, earlier tonight at a study session, we talked about this sheet right here. This is what I'm asking you to approve tonight.
Okay, so everybody has seen that expenditure sheet that Jeff handed out, correct?
Yep.
I'd make a motion to approve an expenditure of $14,180 as detailed in the information cost that was distributed.
And I'll support that.
Okay, we got a motion by Matt, and we got second by John. Any more discussion?
Well, there's two things that bother me is going through this informational deal. I just feel that all the facts are not put out to the public here yet that are going to be voting on this referendum. And there's many things in here that should be brought into it. The teachers, all of our employees, are they all going to be hired in this new academy deal? Or are we going to lose some of our employees? Our teachers are going into a pool. Who's going to make the decisions on who stays and who goes. And I don't know, I requested a while back, I wanted to see the breakdown on materials and labor for this whole project. And I still haven't received those as of yet. So to me, it's like you're given somewhat of a blank check. And originally,
Well, this is,
I see they're going to remodel the Roosevelt, and so that will stay in Virginia also. Now, I brought that up at the very beginning when I was on a facility committee, that we hire an independent firm that specializes in renovating or remodeling of buildings, and upon that time, the superintendent of Virginia agreed. But that never happened. So
But we
now-
voted, sorry. go
So
ahead,
now
Tom.
Virginia is remodeling. We don't have a clear figure by an expert team to see if we could have remodeled like Franklin instead of building a new one.
We voted,
Knocking it down.
we voted though, we voted 7-0 that we were going to put it out to a vote of the people for a new building.
And informational-
For
informational, right.
a new building for the
Virginia's not
elementary and
remodeling
for the
anymore.
high school academy.
And the reason I voted for that is because I felt as a director, I should give the voters a choice. By voting no, that I'm restricting the voters. And that's why I voted for the referendum. But with the understanding that this other information was going to be put out. But all this information isn't giving all the details of what's going on here to the voters.
I guess I don't understand what you're saying with, that's not, I mean, that is about as comprehensive as it gets. So, what information are we missing?
Where's the site gonna be? Is this site gonna be here, we're gonna build it on Ledge Rock?
Yep.
Okay, that's
So-
a neutral, that is a neutral site now? What is a neutral site? I mean, Gilbert is losing everything. Okay, I understand that. What is a neutral site? It shouldn't be built out of anything, any property that the city of Gilbert owns, or any property that the city of Evans owns, or Virginia. Then you're building on a neutral site.
but just,
I feel like we've already had this conversation, and the board voted to put it out to the people, and that's where it's at right now.
Yeah.
and,
I
and,
agree.
and Tom, as far as like what Virginia does, I don't believe the statement that they're going to renovate the Roosevelt is completely accurate. I do believe that they're going to be tearing down a huge chunk of it, just saving just the gymnasium, if I'm
Yes.
correct.
The gym and,
Common area, I believe.
Yeah,
Commons
that's
area.
it.
That isn't stated in there. If you look at this, you're gonna remodel Virginia, you're gonna remodel the Roosevelt.
It doesn't say that anywhere in there. It says,
Well, it's showing,
it says a new elementary in Virginia.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but just piggybacking on what Tom said, I think I understand what he's saying. It's that, okay, so the referendum vote says a new high school and new elementaries, okay? And that's the ballot question. Okay, so if there are people that, if this is what you're saying, Tom, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if there are people that are wondering, okay, I might vote yes for this, I might vote yes, but I want to know, first of all, if the costs of remodeling versus brand new and what would go into that remodeling, because then that's going to depend upon if they're going to vote yes or if they're going to vote no. So I think that's the kind of information he's saying is that, right, you know what I'm saying? It's not that, it has nothing to do with the question being the way that it is, a new building. Okay, so you're shaking your head, you understand.
I do.
I
I get what you're
understand
saying.
that.
Because I get it, because those are some of the questions that I've had from people.
Yeah.
Is, you know, when the mailing went out and my name was on the bottom for the clerk, I got some phone calls. And I had some great conversations with people about it. But that was some of the stuff is, you know, what's entailed for the remodel versus a new elementary. And those are questions that I think our taxpayers have. if that can even be, and I
It's
know
coming.
we're.
I just think I got 5 weeks.
I was just gonna
It's
say,
coming.
I know we're doing individual things, if that can be a piece in that, because I know that's
The elementaries will be a piece of it. because
what
I
people
know-
are
I realize
questioning
that
and
people are
wondering about
questioning.
is, why not remodel what we have versus building new, and
Exactly.
the discussion points that we had, and just different things.
Because some people might support the brand-new high school, but they might, because of the way it's worded, they want to know, should I support a new elementary also? Or do I think that we should remodel, and how much remodeling do we need? What does need to be remodeled? What is absolutely necessary? What's a full remodel? Just as they explained, so you could have the same type of education in a remodeled school or a new school, but that's been the discussion before, to say, well, if it costs the same to remodel our existing buildings and to build a new school, people are saying, that's a no-brainer, let's do a new school. Other people might have a different, they might say, if we can, you might have more support with people to say, well, if we can do the same and remodel building for the same price, let's get 2 birds with 1 stone. You're going to make a lot more people happy, and you're going to get a lot more yes votes. So this would be better for the cause, I think, is to have these questions answered.
And we're working on it. I
Yeah.
mean, you're
But you know
absolutely right.
what?
It is a question.
You know what, I have to take exception too, because I've asked for those kinds of numbers too, Jeff, and you know, in some emails and of Cross Anderson, and what we got was samples that didn't have our particular numbers in it, specifically for the Franklin. Virginia can do what they want to do, but those specific numbers I've asked for also.
My thoughts on that is, I bid out work for a small 8x10 addition on my house. That took a lot of time by the contractor to do that. And a lot of people don't even come and give the bids because it's time intensive. And for it not to be clear and have the expectation that it's gonna go there and those are the numbers, and those might not be the numbers actually when the project's, if everything passes and the project's moving along, those might not be the numbers because things change in 6 months. Things change in 1 year. And that's the reality. And I think to put out anything prior to that, it's taking a lot of time, which equates to cost. And the information is not necessarily going to be accurate. And I feel like then we're going to be there's going to create issues with that because we're putting out inaccurate information. I would rather have, this is the range and this is what it's looking like based on this projection, and this is how we come up with those figures.
Well, you're making my point exactly, because I'm doing some remodeling myself, and I don't want just a number thrown out there. I want to know what I'm paying for, and I want to know the particular itemized parts of it too. You know, just like Bill, if you, the parts.
If you were going to totally remodel your home versus building new, okay, and okay, you give you the contractor gives you a blank figure. Here, this is that, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but not going to tell you what type of cabinets we're going to put in your kitchen. You might put metal in. You have no idea what type. All you know, you're going to get cabinets.
But I think that eventually the scope will move to that. I think it's preliminary to move to it now.
Well, that's an assumption that it will move to that, correct?
I mean, the scope of work and the timeline of that scope of work.
Once this referendum is passed.
Excuse me, but I think we're
Off
just
topic.
way off
Yeah, we
the
are.
agenda. The agenda item we're considering is to spend $14,000 to move forward with an information campaign.
I agree.
I agree.
But it is relevant though, Matt, because what Tom's saying, and I haven't said, but he's saying that we're going to spend money, but he doesn't believe in some of the information that's in here. And nor do I. And I won't even get into the ones that I think is not total full information, that could be put a little differently. But it is very relevant to the cost and what the product we're putting out. And to go back to say that information is going to be forthcoming, we should have it. UNESCO did preliminary, then ARI, then DSGW, and then ICS piggybacked all off those numbers. And now we've got Cross Anderson. Those numbers should be there. How did they base these figures off of if they don't have the specific itemized items and costs. And so to say it's going to
And
come...
nobody's gonna have
Well-
specific items and costs, because it's not the way it works. I mean, they go by a number on square footage based on what it is you...
Then how did...
Averages. They
I'm
use
sorry
averages.
to...
They're
I'm
not
sorry
going to put, without spending that money, they're not going to make a whole new itemized deduction thing without a PO for the job.
Okay,
I mean,
but
that
not
costs
to...
a lot of money.
Not to be
And time.
argumentative, but I'd like to know from Evelyn Gilbert, what does the Franklin need? What exactly is it that the Franklin needs?
It's irrelevant
And then
at
what's
this
the-
point.
Well,
Right now, we're voting on for a new school. It's irrelevant what the Franklin needs.
it
As far
is
as I'm
because
concerned.
if I'm going to vote for it for a new school, or if I say we should really, other people, to say we should not go with a new Franklin, but we should renovate what we have and make it up, that's going to determine what my vote is, a yes or a no. That's having an informed decision, making an informed decision. That's all I have to say.
So Jeff, when you go out in April and have more listening sessions, are you going to have some of that information?
Yes, but it will be just as general as you get it. I mean, you go by that, like, I know the Franklin needs a new roof, so I mean, it's $24 a square foot.
And I believe the windows that were put in were
Well, I mean,
of less quality of what you took out.
But some of these questions that
I
people
didn't
might
do
be, some of these questions that people might have could potentially be answered by you guys when you're out at these listening sessions that we can also attend.
But
I would
shouldn't
encourage you to attend.
Shouldn't some of that go out in these mailings that are going to go to everybody?
But there will be.
I think
Well,
what Jeff said is
And that's
I'll see,
part
we'll
of the
see,
plan.
we'll see, okay.
So the motion on the table,
Yep.
is to approve the expenditure for the information campaign. Can I get a motion?
You already got it.
All,
Schulberg,
okay.
second was you,
All
Lon.
right, that was a while back.
Yes, it was.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
No,
Motion passes 5-2. 12.5, set closed session to discuss negotiation strategies. Jeff?
Oh, we're just, real quick, we're going to do some preliminary on what the board would, how to, both our unions have filed for intent to negotiate with us, and I'm just looking for some direction as to how you want to proceed.
Can I get some discussion on this, possibly?
No, you don't need discussion, you just
Okay.
need to motion and pass it. and move on.
Okay. Can I get a motion to set closed session to discuss negotiation strategies?
I'll move.
I'll second. Any more discussion? You don't need that, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.0 old business, there is none.
Well, I guess I am sitting here looking here, and I think there was something on it. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Well, even so, it's not on the agenda, and then we
Yeah, you
already
can't.
approved the agenda, so we couldn't discuss
Can't do
it
it.
anyway, so.
Yeah, I was wrong anyway.
Maybe ask Bill to put it on for
Yes.
old business.
I was wrong anyway. I thought there was something in the file that I saw.
14.0 administrative report and information.
All right, here we go. So I gave you all should have a squinting sheet in front of you with enrollment by grade. A little bit on the collaboration, just for the sake of the audience. So the first brochure will go out in the mail on April 1st, should be in mailboxes by April 2nd, and then every Monday from there on in up until the election, we will have something going out in the mail. On April 2nd, 3rd and 4th, on the 2nd we'll be in the Gilbert School, on the 3rd we'll be in Evelyn, on the 4th we'll be in Virginia, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 6 at night. Information meetings, we'll be presenting what it is we're voting on, and Krause Anderson and Cunningham will also be with us to answer any questions that anyone may have. Following that, we are in the process of setting up smaller group meetings with Chambers of Commerce, Lions, that type of deal. Hopefully by the end of this week we'll have a schedule out for that. A little bit of recognition, I forgot. Should have done this 2 weeks ago at boys swimming. That's Alex Gritzmacher, Nate Spearing, Rob Kelson, and Robbie Licari made it down there in the medley relay. And Robbie actually also made it as an individual in the breaststroke, so congratulations to those boys. And then this past weekend, last speech meet of the year before sections, our speech team took second out of 23 teams, and they were mostly all AA teams at the Grand Rapids School, so that's pretty cool. Franklin, real quick, we had our fourth graders took their annual trip a couple weeks ago out to the Laurentian Environmental Center. Had a great time. It was really cold that day. It was one of the 20 below days, but kids all enjoyed themselves. It was a good time. There's a couple more pictures of that. Doing some indoor stuff and skiing outside. Then the last one I'll show, the first graders had Dental Awareness Week. They dropped eggs in Coke for 3 days and then tried to brush the Coke off them, and it didn't work so well, so it was just a demonstration. Why not to drink pop? Go ahead, Todd.
Before I start talking about the Make the Cut, we are beginning MCA testing tomorrow with our 8th graders in reading. Throughout the next month and a half, we will be having pretty intensive MCA testing throughout, so just wanted to mention that. We had some 6th graders make the cut a couple weeks ago for responsibility. Evan Sly, Leah Weirma, and Michaela Nemenek. Congratulations to them. And we had some 7th graders as well last week with Lucy Verant, Molly Johnson, and Isaac Lindhorst. Congratulations to them and their families. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Go ahead.
And at the senior high, I have 3 slides. The first one, we had Troy Caddy and Angie Kemp organize a student task force to meet with the Cunningham group at the Northeast Service Co-op, and I was the staff person that took the 18 students from Evelyn Gilbert to the session, and we met up with about 20 students from Virginia, and they had a session on what a safe school looks like, and what it would look like, how they feel, what a safe place is for them. So it was a good brainstorming activity for both group of students, and it was very successful. 2 hours spent there. The next one, Kayla Wainapaw, a junior with us, came to me and said if I had seen this new video that the State Patrol had put out called Lasting Impact, and I said I was not aware of it, and she said it just came out, and it was about a student that had passed away in a car accident in 2015, and the driver was recklessly driving, and the passenger that passed away was actually her cousin. So it's about her cousin and the family and what they went through, and so it's just an awareness for our students about careless driving, making sure that they're not on their cell phones, and making sure they're all have a seat belt and they're not in a vehicle doing harmful things or driving without, being careful out there. So I thought it was a good time to show it to our students before prom and before graduation. So we showed it to our 9th and 10th graders and then our 11th and 12th graders. And we were the first school to show it in this area, and I know there's other principals that have it lined up for them to show as well. So I thank Kayla Wainapaw for bringing it to my attention and showing it to our students. And then the last thing, Mrs. Krebs, I saw her this morning and asked her how it was for our close-up trip to Washington, and she said she was exhausted, but they all came back and safe, and they had a good time. So I thank Ms. Krebs for organizing that, taking our students out there on that week-long trip that took place last week.
Very good. Board member topics 15.0. Go ahead, John.
Well, last Saturday I went to the inaugural Golden Bear Foundation event, the curling bonspiel up at the curling club, and those guys did a heck of a job, guys and gals. Very well attended, very well supported. A lot of old maroon and gold, a lot of black and gold, some Sparta hockey jerseys, and it was, everybody really got behind the event, and I think it's started something really good, and proud to call those board members my friends, and they did an excellent job.
I saw some orange and black there too.
That's it,
Yeah.
Sparta, orange and black bucks. There was a
Oh, Sparta orange.
Sparta. Well, yeah, I did. Everyone was well represented, and I think was something really good. Second, I don't know if this is the right spot, but I have a conflict April 8th. I won't be able to attend. I got to be in Chicago, so that's it.
Got nothing.
They raised a lot of money too for
They
that
did.
Bonds field.
Almost $50,000.
Almost $50,000. That is incredible. And the number of people, alumni that were participating in that, it was pretty cool.
And then talks of other events and next year already, and it's, yeah,
Yeah.
well done.
The only other thing that I had was my son was a participant in that close-up program trip, had an excellent time. And I want to thank Amy Krebs because she went above and beyond for sure with that group, trying to get different fundraisers going and trying to get them so that they can pay a large chunk through fundraiser money. But also, you know, she wanted to make sure that the kids had fun out there. My son participates in hockey, and she was able to line them up with some hockey tickets to go to the Washington Capitol versus Lightning, Tampa Bay Lightning game. So that was an experience for those guys as well. So I thank her for that. I know my son really enjoyed himself.
I just have something quick. I had an opportunity about 2 weeks ago now to speak to a community member, and we had a very long, great, rich discussion about the referendum and what we have talked about and all the pros and cons of all of our rich conversations that we've had at the table. And so I was able to it was really nice to hear directly from a community member, and I appreciated the phone call. And I'm hoping, I sent his name over to Mr. Carey, and I'm hoping he has this gentleman has the ability to go to the Alexandria School because he was very interested in that.
Very good. Yeah, right after the last meeting, I flew out of Minnesota, went down to a school. I went down to Florida to see my niece, and on one of those days when I was down there, I went to my nephew's school where he attends school. They were having field day, and I will just tell you, there's not much grass. There's a lot of sand and a lot of asphalt at this school. It's all single story. It was field day. There's in his fourth grade class, there's 25 sections of 20 fourth graders in one school, just one school in the Santa Rosa School District. And I thought it was, when I got there, I thought it was just, like fourth, fifth, and sixth grade or whatever. I don't know what grades you were. But it was, no, this is just one fourth grade class. One fourth grade section of this school. But it was really fun to go to see all the little events they had for these kids. They were all on their field day. It was all skills. You had to work together. So in other words, they had these planks they would lay out on the ground, and they all had to stand on these planks and get really close, and then the plank would have to come down from the other end, and they would have to move, and the object was to get to the other side by working in groups. That was just one of the things that they did, but there was many other things that they did there that was all working together in a group. And I was just amazed how big these classes were and how nice. Other than there was really no green space to speak of, but that was one of the days I, went down to their schools. It was impressive. But that's it. I sent Jeff some pictures, did I not?
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Holly?
Welcome back.
Yeah, it was cool down there. It wasn't hot. It was 60 degrees, but I was happy with it. There was no snow to slip on, no ice to slip on. So, yeah. Go ahead.
A couple of things. Angie, you weren't here the last meeting, and I mentioned that Minnesota courts thing for students, and somebody, I think it was Alyssa Bowe, said that maybe the close-up trip and Amy were going to be gone during it, but you're aware of that? There's an opportunity this month and next month?
To go and see
It's a presentation by the judges in the courts.
Yes.
You heard about that? I was hoping some of our students could go, because there's limited, I understand. I saw a poster.
Yes, Amy Krebs, Gary Pernew actually came to the school and met with me and Amy Krebs to see if we could get some students interested, but when Mrs. Krebs reached out to the students, I don't think there was enough participation to be able to go, unfortunately. But she did ask her classes that she was with.
I just don't know that there were two opportunities, one in April and one in March. I just wanted to bring that up again, too.
Yeah, I'll follow up with the March one, because I thought there was only one date. So
Yeah,
maybe
there's two.
another one would work out for the students.
Good opportunity, I thought.
Okay.
And then, when I was at the MSBA negotiations training, they had two presenters from the National Insurance Services Corporation, and they gave so much good information about health savings accounts, health retirement accounts, VIBAs, 403Bs and everything, and that it was just so full of information, and it just went so fast, and some of it over my head. But I'm thinking that now that we're entering negotiations, and some of this information, and they said some of these things, if they're presented and people understand them well enough, it's a win-win situation for both the district and the union, you know, and how to do things differently between a health savings account and health retirement account. All I'm getting at is to say, if the parties and the unions or even the confidentials as a school district are interested in having them come and speak to our district, our players, and the school board, you know, we might realize, because it's, you know how complicated that stuff all is. And it might help during negotiations, and we might actually, as a district, save money doing things differently. But it's very detailed. And I told the guy after, I said, you know, if you could slow that down, but they had so much information to give or take parts of it. I'm just throwing that out as a suggestion.
Yeah, I've never run into a negotiation situation where nobody was interested in talking about insurance.
Yeah.
So.
And the better we all understand it, I think we can all come away with some positives. So I'm throwing it out to see if you're interested in asking the groups and then inviting the representatives.
Sure. I'd be.
I would be interested, I think, yeah, just like,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It was-
always a discussion point.
Yeah, it was very, very, okay. That, and one more thing, I was wondering, when the boards, it's been mentioned when John Hunick was here last, about a joint powers agreement and the contractors agreement, when those documents are coming out for the board to...
I'll send them out when, I do have the contract, I could send that out tonight, the joint powers agreement is still being...
And then we need to probably have a meeting to discuss that?
The joint powers one? Yes.
Well, and the other one too.
No, the contract is what it is.
But the discussion was whether it would be just one district signing off on that, and then we would be a
Owner's rep.
owner's rep?
Yeah.
Well, we had some information on it, but I don't think as a board we decided on it
Okay.
yet.
We'll have a study session on that then.
I think that would be good.
Yep.
Those are real important details. So. That's all I have.
Okay. Tom?
Nothing at this time.
All righty.
Can I just say one more thing that I forgot?
That's not your turn.
Come on now.
Yeah, no do-overs.
I just wanted to also thank the teachers and different staff members that have been available at different events to get information out for the collaboration stuff. So I think that they're doing a good job trying to make sure everybody has the correct information
I
as
agree.
well.
Yes.
And donating their time and whatever.
And I thank everybody for showing up. And besides Jeff, besides can I get a motion to adjourn?
So
Motion by Sorkin, support by Lotiger. All in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Opposed?